In this video, I'll be talking to my longtime friend Sabrina Williams on how to deal with the stress of weight loss. Make sure you stick around till the end so you can grab my free gift to help you reduce stress in this weight loss adventure. Well, hi Sabrina.
Hey, Monica.
So good to see you today. And today I'm going to be talking about how to deal with the stress of weight loss in 2020. And what better person to talk about this than you, Sabrina Rivers Williams. And I wanted to give people, for those people that don't know you, wanted to give them a little bit of a backstory of how we know each other, because it's been a long time, you know, and I don't want to age us or anything. But I think we probably met around 2000. Do you think that's right?
That sounds right.
So
I think that sounds accurate.
That means 20 years ago. Oh my goodness. Time has flown. And
yes.
So I wanted to just, we've been friends for a long time, and we live now in different places, but I wanted to kind of segue into why you're the expert for this, because you've had an incredible journey, an incredible transformation. And I just wanted to, before you get started, I wanted to tell people how proud I am of you, because I bought this January edition of this magazine where you're here, and there's this whole thing about your transformation, and I wanted to just give that shout out. But people that don't know who you are, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Wow. Well, I am a 42, almost 43-year-old now, married, mother of one. And I started my journey as a mom a little bit later in life. But I have battled my weight probably most of my life. I'd say probably starting when I was 13. So it has always been kind of an up and down journey with my weight from the time I was 13 until I'd say 4 years ago. And after having my daughter, I think I finally kind of hit rock bottom with my weight and my emotions. They're more linked together than you think. So after roller coaster dieting and up and down yo-yoing, and for most of my life, I was finally introduced to a lifestyle by another friend that had its success, was actually trying it for her daughter's health. Her daughter has seizures, and so she started trying this lifestyle out to see if it was something that would help keep her daughter's seizures under control. And she and I have known each other quite a long time too. And she wanted to let me know what she was doing, because she too rode the same roller coaster with her weight that I did. And she found the key, and she was like, I think this is going to work. Like, I think this will work for you, and I think you should try it. And, at that point I was at my heaviest. I think I was slightly depressed, it was not actually, diagnosed depression, but definitely depression that I was going through. Mm-hmm. And in a lot of physical pain, just physical everyday pain, like couldn't get up out of a bed or get to a bathroom or pick up my daughter, who was, only a year old. So I was willing probably to try anything at this point. And when she told me about it, it sounded like the craziest thing of all the things to do. But I didn't care, I was willing to try anything at that point. And gosh, I'm so glad I did. Because it has absolutely changed my life.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what stressors did you have before you embarked on this journey? What were the stressors? You mentioned mental, you mentioned obviously physical, and any other stressors you had at this point?
Yeah, I mean, emotionally, I was a wreck. I had a daughter, and though, yeah, I wasn't postpartum. I mean, but it was a year later before, but I think I had cycled through all those emotions probably a little bit later. I was embarking on something new in my life. It was the first time in my life I had not worked. I have worked 1, 2, sometimes even 3 jobs at a time. And so I was dealing with
I know that.
having to, yes. So
I remember.
I was learning to relinquish that control of, you know, having financial stability of my own to be dependent on. Though I am married and my husband's a wonderful man. I have all my life been able to provide for myself. So letting that go was a stressor for me, especially being a partial control freak. That was hard. And then my jobs have always been all consuming of my time and my energy. And now I didn't have that. And so I had my daughter, but it was different. It's a big shift. It's a very different shift in the type of things that you're doing every day. And so it took a lot for me to, like, I still felt like I had to be as busy as I was working while I was home with my daughter. So I was like kind of constantly running myself into the ground because that's what I was doing when I was working.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I had that on. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I had all of that on top of, you know, a new baby, you know, my hormones swinging in every which direction. I gained 50 pounds while I was pregnant, and I was probably already 30 pounds overweight before I had her. So now I had 80 extra pounds that I had never had in my life. You know, not this much weight. I have always swung up and down, and I have never been small or tiny or petite. I'm not structured to be that way. I don't expect to ever be that way. But I have had swings where my weight has been heavier. But not until after I had my daughter had I hit my heaviest weight. So yeah, there was a lot going on.
Did you avoid certain things because you felt that you needed to lose weight first?
Absolutely. I mean, I avoided a lot of interaction. I mean, even with family and friends, people who know me and could see me and saw me all the time. You know, I would opt out of family functions, or, you know, I think there were a couple of weddings I missed because I didn't want to have to try and buy a dress and go. I didn't like to have photos taken. So even after the birth of my daughter, where I was not even at my heaviest, we had newborn photos shot with her. And I remember the photographer saying to me, "Do you want photos with your newborn?" And I was like, "Absolutely not. I don't want anybody to see me." Because that's how I felt at the time. And I missed that opportunity, and I regret it to this day. But, you know, there was such a big insecurity at the time. I'm like, I don't want anybody to see me or photograph me in this state. I was not at my heaviest then. So
yeah, I was just going to say that when your self-esteem is not, you know, let alone what you were going through with the hormones and work stress and everything else compounded, and having had her and everything, you know, your everything is off, right? All of your emotions are off, and you probably don't want people, especially your loved ones and friends, to see you that way.
Yeah.
And so now you probably have that shame and that all of those feelings associated with not wanting that socialization, and then missing out, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's what started the depression. You know, it's like I had to say no to have control of, you know, people seeing me or me having to interact with people, but then saying no caused a level of stress and upsetness because I couldn't go, and because I felt like I couldn't go, you know? So yeah, I think that's what started the depression, you know, and then it got to the point where, you know, I just wanted to, you know, I hurt so bad too physically, I couldn't get out of the bed. So then it was like, well, let me just stay in the bed. And it, you know, it all started to compound and build and just get worse.
So do you think that your friend was your tipping point to kind of give you that push? or was something else that was your tipping point?
My friend was the reason I started. My daughter was my tipping point. You know, there are probably two major instances in my mind that stand out. And one of them was in that article that they wrote about in the magazine.
Yeah.
Yes. So I had taken my daughter to Busch Gardens, a big amusement park, and she was little. I think 2. And there were little things, you know, little rides that the kids can ride, but she was so little and she's still a little itty bitty thing. There are certain things that she couldn't ride without an adult, even on the kiddie rides. And there was this one ride that she just wanted to ride so badly. And I was like, okay, well, mommy will ride with you. Let's go. And we got in line and we got on the ride. And when we got on the ride, of course, you have to put your safety belt on, right? So I had to put the safety belt on, she and it was just one big strap. And I went to pull the strap and pull it around to get it around me and her to close it. And I couldn't close the strap. Mm-hmm. And I cry every time I think about it. I still do, because it was devastating to her. She didn't understand. Mm-hmm. And then I realized at that moment how bad I had allowed myself to get. Mm-hmm. So that was huge for me. That was huge.
Mm-hmm. And what was the second thing? You said there was a second one that...
Yeah, there was a second one. So I think she, again, around the same age, she was up and walking around and getting into things. And I was sitting on a couch and she was getting ready to get into something that she shouldn't, that was probably going to hurt her. And I went to go get off the couch to stop her, like really fast. And I couldn't, my back, like cinched up on me, and I hit the floor.
Oh my God.
And I couldn't get off the couch to get to my daughter to stop her from hurting herself. And then I had to yell, which of course scared her to death. Then she started crying, but I was in so much pain on the floor. I was crying. It was horrifying. And, you know, those two moments stick out in my mind as the two biggest things. And those things had happened already when my girlfriend was like, hey, listen, I know you're not doing well. And I think I have an answer that can help you. And I was like, okay, I'll do anything at this point. Mm-hmm. Can't get any worse than these two things that have happened already.
Yeah. Yeah. So I wanted to tell people before we go into what you did, what you actually did, that we are going to dive deeper into your lifestyle in a future video. So I want to ask people to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that they're the first to know when that video comes out. And so what did you do?
Okay. So I started eating ketogenically is what I did. And keto seems to be a big buzzword these days. I think it comes up more often than not. You know, everybody's curious. Everybody's wondering. I live a nutrition-based ketogenic lifestyle so that I am in constant ketosis all the time. It is a way I live. It is not a fad. It is not a diet that I started. I have been eating this way now for 4 years. Have zero intention of going back to eating the way I was eating before. It has been 100% sustainable. It is a low carb, high fat, moderate protein diet. Mm-hmm. And that is what has gotten me up, was what got me up and going, and has gotten me to a point where I'm at now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you said it's been 4 years since you started.
4 years.
Yeah.
Yes, 4 years.
So
Yep.
in this keto
Yeah.
lifestyle, you know, I think one of the big stressors sometimes that people find with diets, or I mean, I know that you're considering this a lifestyle, which I understand because it's a way of life. It's not just one thing you do for a little bit. So do you count calories?
No,
Okay. Because that
not at
can
all.
be a huge stressor,
I
right?
don't count calories.
Yeah, that can be that can
Right.
be a stressor sometimes when people like, you know, I see people in different programs that they're just like, you know, freaking out because they have to be, you know, counting everything. And whether it's points or calories, there's like this whole pressure that is always giving you that I think that added stress that you probably don't need in when you're going through a journey like that.
Right. Yeah. And I already had all that. I mean, with all the diets, I mean, I had tried every diet before I did this, and I counted calories and I counted points and I drank shakes and then I counted more calories, and it never was sustainable. It was nothing that I could ever maintain. Now, with the caveat, I will say you can get caught up counting in this lifestyle. You can do it.
Yeah.
There are what we call macronutrients, macros, that some people get caught up, you know, trying to calculate their macros and hit them. I calculated my macros, I'd say once, just to see where I should be, and then started just eating intuitively, I call it, to meet those goals.
Sabrina, just what are macros? I just wanted to let people know.
Yeah. So yes. So your macros, they are your protein, your carbohydrates, and your fats. Those are the three macronutrients that you need to survive.
Okay.
And you don't, let me resurface that. Those are three macronutrients that we count. You don't need carbohydrates to survive.
Right.
You
Okay.
need fat and protein to survive. Everything else is.
So as you're going through this, and one of the other stressors that I think that you know is present in the journey of weight loss is the scale. So I wanted to ask you, if you're have the philosophy of weighing yourself constantly and you know, sort of obsessing about the scale, or like how often should one weigh themselves?
I used to be what I call ruled by the scale. It also ruled my emotions and how my whole day would go if the scale didn't say what I wanted it to say. I have had to learn to give up the scale. I tell people, don't pray to the scale gods. They're never going to tell you what you want. So I gave up my bathroom scale for a kitchen scale instead. And what I do is I weigh my foods, and, you know, so I can see how much protein I'm taking in and things of that nature. It's not something I have to do regularly anymore because it was what I was doing in the beginning until I learned what I needed to learn. But I probably get on the scale when I see a doctor, and that's it. So twice a year.
Perfect.
I stay off the scale. I take pictures and I take measurements. Those things will tell you more truth than any scale is going to tell you.
I agree. I think that how your clothes fit tells a lot more than a scale sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. The scale is a fickle beast. I mean, it'll tell you one thing one day, one thing the next. It really is. It is a tool, and I will use it sometimes for what it's worth. But if you are holding stock in it, or you are waiting for it to tell you what you want all the time, you will be let down. And so I try to steer people away from it as your main source of information. Yes.
So what about working out? I know that's for some people that may be their weak point. Do you work out, or What do you do for activities?
So I'm a bad worker outer.
Okay. Okay.
It is not been my strong point. It is on my list this year of things to incorporate more into my lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
I am not consistent by any stretch, and that is, full disclosure.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it is beneficial to any lifestyle, no matter what you're doing, to get the exercise. It is a good form of stress relief. And it is beneficial, definitely will help, things will help you along, I feel like, emotionally, and physically. I don't believe in exercise alone as a tool for weight
Oh,
loss.
absolutely.
I think
Absolutely.
it will help. Yeah, I feel like it will help aid you, but
Mm-hmm.
in changing the shape of your body.
Mm-hmm.
But your diet is really what's going to help, get you where you need to be. But I think exercise is important. And start where you are. I think a lot of people get frustrated, like, I have to go get a gym membership and go to the gym and lift weights and do all this other stuff. I don't live in an area where there's a gym. It is not something that I can do. So, I have some home-based stuff, and I take walks,
Yes,
and,
that's great.
my daughter dances. My daughter dances, so I dance around with her. Sometimes it's just as simple as putting on ankle weights and wrist weights while I'm cleaning the house. Sometimes it's not anything major,
Mm-hmm.
but just getting that extra resistance while I'm doing everyday things.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, exercise, start where you
Wonderful.
are. Don't feel like you have to do anything crazy. And
Yeah. That's great. So I wanted, now that you just gave another, a tip. I never thought about putting ankle weights into, while you're cleaning the house. So I wanted to kind of
yeah,
wrap it up with the 5 tips on, what you would tell people on how to deal with the stress of weight loss. If you have like 5 simple tips, that would be fantastic.
so make sure you get enough sleep. Sleep is super important. When you're trying to lose weight, I think a lot of people don't give enough heft to the necessity of getting good sleep.
Agree.
Keeping your stress low, and we say that, but it's, stress is what it is. We live with it. We have it every day. But how you react to it, and how you deal with it will be huge in helping you lose weight. So if you can kind of anticipate a stressful situation and then react to it
Mm-hmm.
differently, plan your reaction, think about it, and then, change your behavior, then, you'll hope you'll get better results with your weight loss. Turn off your screens, turn off your phone. Like, I set an alarm on my phone every night. For those of you who are always trying to get in touch with me, at 10 o'clock, my phone no longer dings, beeps, does anything. Like, it goes into a shutdown mode that allows me to not be responding to the phone all the time, not sleeping with the TV on. Even an hour before I go to bed, like, I will read a book, or, I'm finishing up whatever I need to do with my daughter, just easing into that, into that nighttime routine is
Mm-hmm.
helpful. Sometimes having a supplement is helpful. I supplement with magnesium. My lifestyle kind of requires that, but magnesium is a good way to help you kind of get your sleep. Or even a fish oil
Great.
is good.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Supplementation is
Have
very.
I given you 5?
Well, I think
Yeah, supplementation is huge.
I think that I think the 5th one probably can be the weights around your ankles while you're doing something in the house, like cleaning. That's a really good one, I think.
Yeah.
And I love that. I don't have ankle weights. I'm gonna have to get some to do that, because I think that's a really great
Yeah. Yeah.
tip. So
Marshalls.
Oh, yes, definitely. Yeah, I love Marshalls.
Yeah.
So Sabrina, thank you
Yes.
so much. I wanted to tell people that we're going to link up in the description how they can get in touch with you, because I know that you offer coaching for their journey.
Yes.
So I want to make sure that people get that information. And if you're enjoying this video, please subscribe to my channel so you're first to know about new content, and look out for our next video on the keto lifestyle. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends. See you next time.